I've been a lifelong wrestling fan. My dad is who introduced me to wrestling. I can remember probably as young as like maybe 4 or 5 years old.
5 years old, so it would have been 2003.
Sitting in the living room and watching wrestling with my dad.
My grandpa liked watching wrestling, like everybody's classic grandpa watching WWF, you know. I started out definitely Ruthless Aggression era.
I remember as young back as I can anyways. My brother and I would always wrestle around even before we even watched wrestling. And so that's kind of always been a part of me. About the time that I started actually watching wrestling was when I was like, I could do that.
I feel like this is like an AA meeting or confessing.
Hi, my name's Allie and I'm a wrestling addict.
And we are back. What is going on, people?
Hello, hello.
Welcome to Wrestling in the Midwest. My name is Tyler Martin.
And I'm Allie Myers. So we're going to go ahead and kick this thing off because everybody knows there is a lot going on in the wrestling world right now.
Yeah.
Lots of talk, and obviously lots of rumors.
Let's debunk some shit, shall we?
Absolutely.
I don't know if we're gonna do that.
Well, we can debunk one thing. So Vince did make it clear that Saudi Arabia is not purchasing the company. They have not totally come to an agreement on who is purchasing the company at this point. Right now, it is just all talk. But oh my gosh, that rumor has been everywhere and it's driving me crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like I was telling you before we hopped on here, when I saw the Saudi Arabia thing, I was like, all right. Like, at first, I got a little nervous, and then I was like, let me look this up. So I saw confirmed, and then I saw Saudi Arabia not buying WWE. I was like, oh, that's enough for me. Like, that was just an obvious dumbass. Who came up with that? That's what I want to know.
Well, I'm just thinking with as large of a company that WWE is, I figured this is going to take longer than just a few weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is going to take months. Like, this is a big deal. And this is the WWE is practically a living, breathing thing at this point. So, like,
Right.
yeah, it's not.
And it's also it's got to be somebody that Vince trusts to continue what he's, worked his whole life pretty much for, his whole adult life at least.
Yeah.
Most of it. I think, how old was he when he started? Like 40 probably?
I think he was younger than that, to be honest with you, because Vince is in his 70s now, right?
How long has it been around as WWF? Because that's when what was it when he first took over? That's when he bought it.
Well, let me find out real quick.
Because we get that information going, we might, I've got that stupid accent that we were doing when we were getting ready to do this. We were fucking going off on some fucking shit that didn't even make any sense.
It says Vince acquired the business from his father in 1982 and turned it into the global entertainment and wrestling powerhouse that it is.
1932.
1980.
Damn.
So,
82's. That's 40 years ago, so yeah, he would have been in his 30s.
yeah, because he's 77 years old.
Yeah, so he would have been 37, right? Yeah, 37.
I'm not somebody you should ask to do math. I'll turn into Scott Steiner.
Well, it was 40 years ago exactly, because you said, what, 1982?
1982.
Since 2023, so almost at 2022. Shit. But yeah, I don't know.
Oh, my. Well, since he seems to be like the topic of the hour, there is, like, you just type in Vince's name and you should see the number of news things right now going on.
Crazy.
Like, and then there's the obvious for anybody that's, not living under a rock with it. He came back and he's like a chairman. He showed back up.
I'm back, bitch.
It was me, Austin.
It
was
was
me all along.
He's Uncle Howdy. You imagine
That
he takes
wouldn't-
that off. It was me, Austin.
Oh, I would die.
Michael Cole's like, oh, son of a bitch.
And then it was like no sooner after that, Stephanie McMahon resigned and stepped down.
I wonder if he's not selling it because she didn't want to be in charge anymore. Like maybe she just wants to like do her thing, which I respect that for sure.
Now, I've seen where there was a rumor mill going that she just wanted to be at home with the family.
Which I don't blame her. She's been in this company hands on for a long time, since probably all of her adult life and some.
Yeah, I'm
So-
kind of like she wrote like a statement for the WWE universe,
Right.
and it's to focus on family. She says, "Dear WWE universe, about 8 months ago, I took a leave of absence, and within a few weeks, unexpectedly, had the opportunity of a lifetime." Stephanie wrote on her Twitter as reference to her May 2022 decision to step back for company to focus on family. I had the privilege to return as the co-CEO and chairwoman of the board of WWE. I cannot put into words how proud I am to have led what I consider to be the greatest company in the world, working alongside a remarkable leadership team and one of the strongest executives I have known in my co-CEO, Nick Khan. Our founder, Vince McMahon, has returned as executive chair and is leading an exciting process regarding strategic alternatives with Nick's leadership and Paul Triple H Levesque as chief content officer. I am confident WWE is in the perfect place to continue to provide unparalleled creative content and drive maximum value for shareholders. And that's what she wrote to us. She's like, I will always remain dedicated to WWE. I truly love our company, our employees, our superstars, and our fans, and I am grateful to all our partners. Thank you for everything. Then, now, forever together, Stephanie.
Did you know the ratings of Raw, SmackDown was in the toilet for a while until they did the brand split again. But did you know the ratings on Raw kind of started going back up once, like, I think it was like shortly before, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was WrestleMania 29, I think, somewhere around that time. So it was in 2013, which is about when I started watching. So it makes sense why I got latched onto it the way I did. Because I thought they were doing some good work. They were doing some good storylines and stuff like that. The main one was Daniel Bryan versus The Authority, which I loved that shit. And then they also had the Big Show versus The Authority, because he was kind of like he was showing remorse for Daniel Bryan because of what they were doing to him, and so pretty much anybody, the Authority was like super heel at that point too. Like, if you had an opinion that wasn't like theirs, like you got in a triple threat or a fucking 6-on-2 match for your title and shit, it's like, goddamn.
See, and I think that's where I started dropping off and I was hit and miss.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was watching wrestling pretty regular up until they had the storyline where Nexus was after John Cena. And I remember that being, I actually thought that was a pretty good storyline. That was probably right around 2010. It had to have been.
Yeah, probably.
Because I was very pregnant with my boy.
Oh.
So, yeah. I remember that being a really good storyline.
We'll have to go back on the network sometime and like I'll show you all the key parts of that era because I thought it was amazing. You understand why as a kid for sure, because I was in high school when that started, or when I started watching regularly. So I don't know.
As far as, I don't know, right now it seems like all the news right now is just over Vince.
Yeah.
And then it was talking about some of the places or some of the businesses, the companies that are interested in purchasing WWE. And I've read several. Now, because of rumors, I don't know what's true and what's not.
Right.
It's very blurred right now. But there was discussion that Disney is dipping their hand in, Fox. I've seen, and then everybody was freaking out over the Saudi Arabia thing. And then there was also a mention that AEW was interested because obviously you've got one of the cons working in WWE and then you have the other one working at AEW. So I'm hoping by the end of it, it'll be kind of interesting to see who takes it. In my head, it would make more sense if Fox or if WWE or round two, try that again. So it would make more sense in my head if Disney or Fox took it.
Yeah.
And Disney's done fairly well with some big franchises, so in my head that makes more sense.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is a weird time. It really is.
Yeah, and it's wild because if you've been a fan of wrestling, like at all, for years, I've been a wrestling fan since I was a child. So for me, I find it kind of wild that the man who helped make it into the empire that it is now, nobody wants him back.
Yeah.
Nobody. There's even a part of me that's like wants him to take a step back.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Stephanie and Triple H and Shawn Michaels and all them that are currently doing their thing, if you gave them the freedom, it would be great. Very entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, I seen what Triple H did with like NXT, so to see what he could do with WWE if he was given free reign,
Right.
it would be fantastic.
Fantastic. But I don't know. It's almost exhausting at this point. All the shit that's been happening. Like at this point, I'm almost like I just want to watch and enjoy the storylines and fuck all the bullshit.
Same.
know
Like,
what I mean?
it's making me anxious. I kind of want them to just do what they got to do business-wise, get it over with so I can just go back to and enjoying the content.
Right.
If I'm even able to enjoy it at all
Right.
after the point.
That's what I'm worried about. Because like, and for me, of course, having this show, I'm sitting here wondering to myself throughout the day, even today, I was like, what if something happens to where that show is no longer watchable? What are we gonna do on this show? So I want to keep it as a wrestling channel. I'm not sitting here preparing for WWE to sink because I don't think that'll ever happen. But if Vince McMahon's not in the CEO or no McMahon at all has any kind of say in what goes on, it would be a lot more likely if you ask me. So I'm just thinking to myself, if somebody else takes over and like turns it into dog shit, I think we could still figure some shit out to do that would make sense.
Well, and there's so many other outlets of wrestling. So, I mean, obviously WWE has always been top dog, right? But, I mean, we also have got AEW that we could look into. There's also TNA. There's other
TNA's on
options.
Kind of going up again, I've heard. I've heard some rumors about TNA in the past, too, that we'll have to talk about. I don't want to talk about it on here because it's bits and pieces. I'll have to figure out what it is, and I don't have time to sit here and have dead air to figure that out. So,
Well, see, now I've heard rumors that AWA is still a thing. Then I did not know that, and I'm going to have to research that. If I'm wrong, call me out on it, but I've heard that was still a thing. And then I know it's not in existence anymore, but there's, and I know I'll get heat from certain people over it, but I really kind of wish that ECW was still a thing because that would have been a lot of fun to do a podcast over as ECW. Because it was just such hardcore content.
right.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm sure we would figure something out.
Did you know WWE actually funded that? Like, that wasn't, like, all Paul Heyman's, like he was in control of it, but, like, WWE kind of owned it. But he kind of did what he wanted. So it was kind of like the third brand, but WWE just didn't, like, promote it as theirs.
Of course. It's the perfect plan.
Yeah.
Vince giveth and Vince taketh away.
It makes me wonder, though, like, did Stephanie McMahon actually buy it, or did they... I think she's the one that owned it the whole time, if I'm not mistaken. So
Really?
I wonder if they didn't just, like... please fact check me on that, because I definitely don't want to fuck that up, but... if that is the case, it's like, did she like end
Wait.
it herself, or like why did it go away?
If I can spell.
Yeah, trying to type really fast is always fun.
Let's see.
Dead air time, son.
Yep.
It's not like it used to be a problem with where you had to wait for your internet to load, but now there's so many websites with different information that you got to find the one that's right. You know what I mean? You got to go through like 3 or 4 different websites to figure out what are you seeing over here?
It says Stephanie McMahon, the storyline owner of ECW.
So I was,
But that's according to
partially
Wikipedia, so I'm like kind of scrolling down.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Wikipedia, who also needs money for what? It always says that. Please send us your money. It's like, nah, I'm good. Probably not. Probably not gonna do that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'd like to start watching, like, finding the time to actually just watch the show and, like, just talk about storylines, because I think that would be more fun. Like, trying to dissect the behind the scenes bullshit that we don't know for sure is real or not. Like, I don't know about it. Like, I'd rather just analyze what I can see with my perspective, because I feel like that would register more, or what's the word I'm looking for? I guess relate more to other people, because most people just want to watch, I would assume.
Yeah.
Except for the people that are on social media, like, talking about what they don't know, which is the problem.
With everything going on, and like, and I know we had a conversation outside of the podcast about like change, and most people we know aren't a fan of change.
Right.
And I feel like that causes a stir for chaos.
Well,
And then rumors everywhere.
they fly.
Unnecessarily, unnecessary.
I don't know. I think most of the time it's just people want views, and then the people that what's the fucking word? People that believe shit way too easy. The oblivious people. What are you seeing?
Well, me looking up the whole Stephanie thing and
Yes.
everything. Well, I was clicking on other things because, like I said, right now Vince McMahon is just
Right.
everywhere.
Yep.
So it was talking about like the ownership of the company currently, and it says that while Vince McMahon does own the company, he surely can't control all of it, or can he? A lot of companies and individuals have stakes, and this is on a website called essentiallysports.com, right? It says a lot of companies and individuals have stakes in this behemoth company. Its rise and its fall essentially depend on stakeholders. The majority shareholder in the company is unsurprisingly Vince McMahon himself, holding a mammoth 48.09% stake in the company. This gives him 70.5% of the voting power as well. Holy poop. And then it says combining the McMahon family's total ownership, including Linda, Shane, Stephanie, Paul, Triple H, they command a 55.31% ownership of the company. Good Lord. Vince literally has 70% of the votes.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
But the thing is, if people start walking, then, there needs to be a union. There really does. I think that should be fought a lot harder, because those guys, the guys and girls that bust their ass for that guy all these years, like, they need somebody to back him when he kind of goes overboard. Because it's nice to hear him say, like, I wouldn't ask somebody to do what I won't do, but the guy's fucking nuts. He'll do anything. So that's not really a good standard to start with. You know what I mean?
To have it, I've always thought about that whole saying, like, I think it's like a Bible reference, but the root of all evil is money,
Yeah.
right? This dude has so much money and like so much power.
Yeah.
He literally could be crazy. Like he gives zero Fs.
Yeah. I think half the women's storylines that he had back in the day was his own fucking weird shit that he was into.
Oh, I 100% believe that. Oh my gosh. Like, it was like anytime there was something sexual, which was 99% of the time with all the women, there was always something sexual. They were never looked at as wrestlers.
No.
But he always squeezed himself into one of those storylines with one of the prettiest divas on the roster to just rub all over him or do something ornery, and he get caught, and then yeah, it is a little weird if I sit here and think about it now.
Did you know, this is how sick of a motherfucker this guy is. Did you know he pitched an idea to Stephanie that she would get pregnant and it was his kid? He pitched that idea to her and she was like, of course not. What the fuck?
That's about as weird as the storyline where Mark Henry gets Mae Young pregnant and she gives birth to a slimy hand.
Oh my God.
That'll never leave my brain, and I should not have watched it when it came out. I was way too young.
You remember Raw 1000 when he showed up as a grown man? He's like, I'm Mae Young's son.
It's a guy in a hand suit.
Yeah. What the hell is happening? And Vince was probably like, that's good shit.
Yeah, and well, like if you go look up Mark Henry's perception of that whole thing and his side of the story and the whole thing, he literally asks Vince McMahon, I like, he tells him like, I don't get it, man, and he goes, it's a hand.
It's
okay.
a hand. It's a hand. It's good shit. It's you. It's like, no, it's not. I'm not a hand, dude.
Well, like on the rumor mill and like watching everybody like give their thoughts, their opinions or whatever, I noticed that a lot of WWE fans were saying things like it was finally starting to do good and Vince just couldn't keep his hand out of it.
Something happened.
Like maybe he could, like there was rumors going around that maybe he doesn't like the fact that it's doing better without him, so he came back. But I don't know. Like, it's his company, so, I mean, he can just come back whenever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Regardless of whether we like it or not.
I don't like that he is a fan of the show. And what I mean by this is what he likes is the only thing he cares about. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't necessarily listen to the people and what we want. Because if he doesn't like something, it doesn't matter how much we like it. He's like, nah, I'm good. It reminds me of all the people that he fucking released. Like, he could have just utilized all those people.
And that's something I'm worried about, too. With him returning, I'm kind of worried about some of the roster because we just got some back. Right. Now there's this, like, there's a good chance that a lot of them are going to be like, nope, count me out.
I've heard rumors that that's a real thing, that they're, like, backstage are like, shit. And, like, Bray Wyatt, man, if they fire him, I'll be pissed.
He is, like, one of the most creative guys you've got right now.
Yeah.
Like, he's one of the best on mic. He sells the most merch. Like, why in the world would you get rid of somebody that draws like he does? Is what I wouldn't understand that.
When he draws, this is Vince McMahon's mindset, I would assume. And I can only assume. But Bray Wyatt does draw a lot of money, but he also costs a lot of money if he does draw a lot of money. So really, he's kind of just breaking even on that aspect. Like, he's not breaking even, but as far as, like, if he draws a lot of money, that puts him up here, which means he has to pay him more. You know what I'm saying? So it's like...
Well, I also wonder... Now, I'm not quite sure what it's like now as opposed to how it was 20 years ago. But, like, back in the day, you fought for that top spot. That's why we had so many good classic matches, was because you're literally fighting for your TV time and your spot.
Nope.
And the way it's set up now, it just seems like once they have who they want as top, they'll do whatever they got to take to keep that person at like it's just set up different. I don't know if I'm wording this right or not, but right now Roman Reigns is supposed to be the top dog, right? He's carrying that championship around. But Bray Wyatt has the potential to be that top person just because of how well he portrays that character.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what anybody's opinions are on his as far as like his like how he wrestles or his wrestling technique.
I think he's really good at telling stories in the ring too. Like
he's just amazing.
Regardless of his he's good at wrestling too, but he's okay at wrestling. But the stories that he's able to tell, his creativity just takes over any kind of place that he's at in the ring, out of the ring. Doesn't matter if he's part of it. Creatively, it's amazing. So even if he did suck at wrestling, which he doesn't, he would still make it work because he's that creative. I don't know.
Is there anything else that's going on? We were discussing that there is some pay-per-views coming up.
Yes. So the Royal Rumble will be coming up here in, let's see, when is that? I want to say the date because I don't want to do the math and figure out when this is coming out. I think this comes out on the 16th, which is a Monday. So that would say that would mean that in 2 weeks, next Saturday, which is the 28th, the Royal Rumble, we will be doing a watch along. So I think we're not going to do it live like we have done in the past, but I think the way we'll do it this time is probably we'll do a full recording of it, and I'll drop it the next day or something like that. I think it'll be fresh enough the next day still for people to not have the spoilers. So we'll see how that goes, and hopefully you guys are looking forward to that, and go to the WWE Network on Peacock and subscribe to that bullshit so you can watch that pay-per-view, premium live event, whatever you want to fucking call it.
And if we do have any fans out there, comment away on this stuff. Give us something to feed off of. What's your guys' opinions? What's your guys' take, your thoughts? Positive, negative, who gives a flying F? Let us know, and we'll try to respond back to you.
Yes, I would like to do a segment at some point when we get a bunch of people commenting their hot takes and stuff like that, like really jumping in. What do you guys think about stuff? And so we can kind of use what you guys like to kind of put into our discussions that we have. I think involving you guys would obviously be good for anything that, I don't know where I'm going with that, but I think you guys know what I'm trying to say.
It would be really nice, because right now it's just our perspective. Right. It would be really nice to have other people's perspectives and opinions.
Yes.
Because what we think, I mean, you might be able to change our minds.
Yeah. I'll if you give me good information, I will change my mind. And I lost it again. Fuck. But yeah, if you're listening or watching at this point, thank you. But this has been, I'm tired. That's part of it. I'm just a tired man. So if you want to help us out with money or something like that, no, I'm kidding. No, but no, I think at the end of the day, we're all fans. You guys are fans just as much as we are. So we want to develop a team here of people that watch us and us. We're all on the same level here. So let's involve everybody. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're nice. If you're a dick, then now if you're a dick but you're funny, then that's
you'll
good too.
You'll fit right in.
Exactly.
Let me tell you, you'll fit right in.
Funny hate is hilarious, but if you're just literally you're pieces of shit, what?
I tell myself that every morning in the mirror. You're not hurting my feelings.
Yeah. Also, let us know in the comment section. I know this is a wrestling show, but if you would like us to just talk about whatever and not just wrestling every so often, let us know if that's something you guys would like. Kind of figure out what we like besides wrestling, you know what I mean?
I am absolutely open to constructive criticism. If there's anything that you guys see us doing that you think that we could work on or that we could perfect, or if you even have any good ideas that we could benefit from to make this podcast better, to get more views, or to maybe entertain you better, we are all ears.
Yep.
Put it in the comments section. Send us a message. And if we're open to all.
If we get boosted up, start making millions of dollars, man, we'll fucking hire y'all's asses. You know what I mean?
I'll shower you with dollars.
Yeah, that's right. All 300,000 million trillion people.
I'll make it rain on you.
Throw that money around like you mean it. Jesus Christ. I think it's probably time to end this shit. You want to plug your show that's going to be happening when? Let's see. I think that will be coming out on the 30th, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see here. You can go ahead and start talking about it, and I'll figure it out here.
Well, so I have my own little podcast that I'm trying out, and it's called the Squared Circle Scene, and I've gotten myself involved in some independent wrestling. So I already have 3 videos up. I had the really cool opportunity to work with NEW or New Era Wrestling. They're a great independent wrestling scene. You should totally check them out. I should be having more content coming soon. They were nice enough to let me come back. I should be interviewing at least 2 or 3 more people. So if you get if you're kind of tired of, the WWE scene or AEW or whatever it is, and you want to break, go check out the independent scene. I mean, obviously that's where a lot of wrestlers start. So yeah, support me, help me out.
So that will come out January 30th at 12:00 p.m. So we haven't shot the episode yet, but we will get it out to you eventually. So I think the plan right now is she doesn't have but just the one company that she's working with right now. But once we get more people, that we watch and trust us enough to interview, we'll start posting more. But for right now, podcast wise, probably just once a month, last Monday of every month at 12 p.m. So that's what I'm thinking for that. If a different time or whatever works for you guys, let us know in the comment section. Also, go over there and subscribe, do all that shit. Yeah, that's it, I think. You got anything else before we wrap this thing up?
I think I'm good on my end.
All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I don't want to sound like a goddamn YouTuber, but honestly, I don't even know what I'm going to say at this point. I'm just trying to talk for as long as possible. That way it doesn't end awkwardly, even though it already is. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Later.